Welcome back. We are exploring this garden where we found, among other things, some iceberg lettuce, which is melting if you look in your inventory. And it will keep melting as long as we have it until there is nothing left. So if we want to use it for something, we'd better do it soon. In the meantime, though, there are some doors at the end of the path.
A curiously speckled gate marks one end of the garden.
Let's see what's behind that. More weirdness, I'm going to assume. Well, I guess I was right. What the hell is this?
Alexander is standing at the edge of a strange land with rolling checkered hills. Two chessboard knights stand before the marble entrance, guarding a path which wanders like a ribbon into the velvety hills.
Well, I've definitely never seen anything like that before.
A noble white chess knight stands at the top of the marble stairs. A red chess knight stands at the top of the marble steps.
Can we talk to them?
Excuse me, what land lies beyond?
What land? Chessboard land, you knave!
I see. And is chessboard land part of the land of the Green Isles?
It is the home of the red and white queens, rulers of the Isle of Wonder, fairest of the islands that owe loyalty to the king of the land of the Green Isles. But perhaps not for long.
What do you mean?
What is the purpose of unity with the great king and queen dead? The princess is worth serving, but the feud with the other isles is strong.
Ooh, what do we have here? The queens, by the looks of it.
I must insist, Your Highness. I shall send the lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
And I suppose you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
Who isn't queen of this isle? The lump of coal is in my possession. Therefore, I shall do as I please with it. Besides, there's nothing wrong with that spoiled egg.
The egg, though delightfully spoiled, is not nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know it. Your Highness always got to carry the singing stone. It's not fair that you get the coal, too.
That doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I should get to keep the coal just because my stone was stolen.
It wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
Which of us should get to carry the coal and which the egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Quiet, Your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
I'm sorry, Your Majesties. I'm partial to both red and white, but I'm afraid that I don't know how to solve your problem. One of you will just have to be gracious and allow the other the lump of coal.
What a ridiculously stupid idea.
Quite ludicrous.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Oh, yes. Obviously a man of high intelligence. The lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway. Black and red are imperial colors.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Red does not go with anything, being much too self-conscious. White is the perfect accompaniment to any color.
Okay, that was weird. Why did they come to the gate here just to have this conversation and then leave again? Interesting, though, that they mentioned the singing stone, apparently, that was stolen by the beast, presumably from the Isle of the Beast. And the ferryman told us before that the feud between the islands had something to do with stolen property. So I guess that is what they were talking about. Looks like the Red Queen dropped her scarf.
Alexander picks up the Red Queen's scarf. The scarf is made of red silk.
I guess we should do the nice thing and try to give it back.
I found a red scarf. I believe the Red Queen dropped it.
The Red Queen is always dropping her scarves. She thinks it's fashionable. Keep it, and consider yourself honored.
Okay. I want to check out Chessboard Land. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting place.
Checkmate! Only chess pieces allowed in Chessboard Land? That's right. Humans aren't allowed in and never will be. Stay out!
Okay, so much for that idea then. Unless we can disguise ourselves as a chessboard piece, we're not getting past these two. I don't suppose there's anything else we can do here, unless we can find a way to solve the dispute between the two queens, who indeed were also mentioned in the guidebook. And it seems that even though they are always feuding between each other, they still rule the Isle of Wonder fairly and owe allegiance to the crown, and are completely loyal to it. How that works, I don't really know. It's sort of an interesting system to have these independently governed islands all owe allegiance to a single crown. I'd really like that hole in the wall too, but there's not really much we can do about it at this point in time. Which means we've done all we can do for here, as far as I can tell. So it's time to move on. Oh, there's almost nothing left of our lettuce by now. Just a puddle of water.
All that remains of the iceberg lettuce is a rapidly evaporating puddle of green water.
Anyway, let's use the map.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
And I actually want to go back to the Isle of the Crown, because I have an idea about that pearl we found.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Note that you can also use the map from the docks on the Isle of the Crown, although I think it will always deposit you here, even if you left from the docks. Let's head back into town. Hey, wait a second. There's something on this wall that wasn't there before.
Alexander doesn't remember that sign being on the wall before. He decides to take a closer look. It's a proclamation. It reads, "Citizens rejoice, announcing the royal wedding and coronation of Wazir Abdul al-Hazred and Princess Kasima. For reasons of security, the wedding will not be open to the public. Long live the new king and queen of the land of the Green Isles. Alexander feels his stomach turn at the thought of the dread event. If he doesn't do something soon, Cosima will be another man's wife.
That is not a good thing indeed. Just about the worst possible news we could hear about at this particular time. And I do believe that if we go into the bookshop, Jollo will be there, so we can discuss this dread event. Yes.
Jollo, how fare you? And what news have you from the castle?
Prince Alex, how I fare is close to boiling. Have you seen the wedding proclamations around the village? I've heard rumors of the wedding, of course, but I didn't want to believe it, and I never thought it would be so soon.
Cosima. Married. Oh, it is an unpleasant thing to swallow, friend. If only I knew Cosima wished it. Tell me about the Wazir, Jollo.
The Wazir? Now there's a dangerous subject. His name is Abdul al-Hazred. He came to the kingdom 15 years ago. The king was fascinated by his knowledge and his fine-sounding ideas. It didn't take long for al-Hazred to convince the king to trust him with the minor problems of daily government. You see, Caliph had a wife and a new daughter he wanted to spend time with. Al-Hazred became Wazir.
And now?
Well, he's had his eye on Cosima ever since she was a young girl. And she is the only thing between him and the throne.
Do you think he means to harm her?
Oh, I honestly don't know. I think he'd rather keep her as wife. But whatever his plans for the princess, he will use her to his best advantage. That's his way.
Perhaps he has charmed her. Perhaps she cares for him now.
The Wazir is capable of anything. And Cosima must be vulnerable and lonely right now. Still, she has always instinctively distrusted him. Cosima has a good head on her shoulders. I'd be surprised if she's truly fallen for his words of love. I must return to the castle, Prince Alex, and you to your wanderings. May we both fare well.
Bad news indeed. Note that what Jollo says actually makes sense if you read the guidebook, because the guy who wrote the guidebook, when he was in the Land of the Green Isles, managed to get an audience with the king and queen, the same king and queen as Cosima's parents, and he said that the king was very interested in any ideas that he might have, but that he didn't really know much about running a country. So it seems that at some point a foreigner who did have some ideas about running a country or whatever that the king found useful showed up. And that's how Al-Hazred became Vizier, which for some reason everybody pronounces Wazir. I'm not entirely sure why. It's also interesting that Jollo said that Al-Hazred had his eye on Cosima since a long time, yet he still sent her off to Mordak. But I guess that when your powerful evil wizard friend tells you he wants to marry a girl, you do what he says. You don't disobey him just because you're also interested in that girl. Okay, we'll continue in the next video.